Heathering, page 22. As we ride home on Heather's bus, she tries to bully me into joining a club. She has a plan. She wants us to join 5 clubs, one for every day of the week. The tricky part is choosing the clubs that have the right people. Latin club is out of the question, as is bowling. Heather actually likes bowling. It was a big thing in our old school, but she has seen our bowling lanes, and she could tell that no right person would set foot in there. When we get to Heather's house, her mother meets us at the door. She wants to hear all about our day, how long I've lived in town, and asks little sideways questions about my parents so she can figure out if I'm the kind of friend she wants for her daughter. I don't mind. I think it's nice that she cares. We can't go into Heather's room because the decorators aren't finished. Armed with a bowl of orange popcorn and diet sodas, we retreat to the basement. The decorators finish that first. You can hardly tell it's a basement. It's covered in carpeting nicer than we have in our living room. A monster TV glows in a corner, and there's a pool table and exercise equipment. It doesn't even smell like a basement. Heather hops on the treadmill and resumes scheming. She isn't finished with her survey of Merriweather's social scene, but she thinks the International Club and the Select Chorus will be a good place to start. Maybe we can try out for the musical. I turn on the television and eat her popcorn. Heather: what should we do? What do you want to join? Maybe we should tutor at the elementary school. She increases the speed of the treadmill. What about your friends from last year? Don't you know Nicole? But she does all those sports, doesn't she? I could never do sports. I fall down too easy. What do you want to do? Nothing. The clubs are stupid. Want some popcorn? She edges up the treadmill speed and breaks into a sprint. The treadmill is so loud I can hardly hear the television. Heather wags her finger at me. Hanging back is a common mistake most ninth graders make, she says. I shouldn't be intimidated. I have to get involved, become a part of the school. That's what all the popular people do. She turns down the treadmill and wipes her brow with a thick towel that hangs off the side of the machine. After a few minutes of cooling down, she hops off. 100 calories, she crows. Want to try? I shudder and hold out the popcorn bowl to her. She reaches right past me and takes a pen topped with a Merriweather purple ball of fluff off the coffee table. We must make plans, she says solemnly. She draws 4 boxes, one for each marking period, then writes goals in each box. We won't get anywhere without knowing our goals. Everyone always says that, and it's so true. She opens her soda. What are your goals, Mel? I used to be like Heather. Have I changed that much in 2 months? She is happy, driven, aerobically fit. She has a nice mom and an awesome television, but she's like a dog that keeps jumping into your lap. She always walks with me down the halls, chattering a million miles a minute. My goal is to go home and take a nap. Burrow. Yesterday, hair woman yanked me from study hall and forced me to make up my missing homework in her room. She made fluttering noises of concern and mentioned a meeting with my parents. Not good. Nobody bothered to tell me that study hall was being held in the library today. By the time I find it, the period is almost over. I'm dead. I try to explain to the librarian, but I keep stuttering and nothing comes out right. Librarian: calm down, it's okay. Don't get upset. You are Melinda Sordino, right? Don't worry, I'll mark you present. Let me show you how it works. If you think you're going to be late, you just ask a teacher for a late pass. See? No need for tears. She holds up a small green pad, my get-out-of-free-jail cards, and I smile and try to choke out a thank you but can't say anything. She thinks I'm overcome with emotion because she didn't bust me. Close enough. That's enough. There's enough time for a nap, so I check out a stack of books to make the librarian happy. I might even read one. Or there's not enough time for a nap, so I check out a stack of books to make the librarian happy. I might even read one. I don't come up with my brilliant idea right then and there. It is born when Mr. Neck tracks me through the cafeteria demanding my 20 ways the Iroquois survived in the forest. Homework. I pretend that I don't see him. I cut through the lunch line, loop around a couple making out by the door, and start down a hall. Mr. Neck stops to break up the PDA. I head for the seniors wing. I am in a foreign territory where no freshman has gone before. I don't have time to worry about the looks I'm getting. I can hear Mr. Neck turn a corner, open a door, and step into the darkness. I hold the doorknob, but Mr. Neck doesn't touch it. I hear footsteps lumber down the hall. I feel the wall next to the door until I find a light switch. I have stumbled into a classroom? I haven't stumbled into a classroom. It is an old janitor's closet that smells like sour sponges. The back wall has built-in shelves filled with dusty textbooks and a few bottles of bleach. A stained armchair and an old-fashioned desk peek from behind a collection of mops and brooms. A cracked mirror tilts over a sink littered with dead roaches crocheted together with cobwebs. The taps are so rusted they don't turn. No janitor has chilled in this closet for a very long time. They have a new lounge in a supply room by the loading dock. All the girls avoid it because of the way they stare and whistle softly when we walk by. This closet is abandoned. It has no purpose, no name. It is the perfect place for me. I steal a pad of late passes from Hair Woman's desk. I feel much, much better. Devils Destroy. Not only is the homecoming pep rally going to spring me from algebra, it will also be a time to clean out my closet. I brought some sponges from home. No need to goof off and fill. I want to smuggle in a blanket and some potpourri too. My plan is to walk toward the auditorium with the rest of the crowd, then duck in a bathroom until the coast is clear. I would have made it past the teachers with no problem, but I forgot to factor in Heather. Just as the escape bathroom comes into sight, Heather calls my name, runs up and grabs my arm. She's bursting with Merriweather pride, all perk and pep and purple, and she assumes I'm just as happy and as excited as she is. We troop down for the brainwashing, and she can't stop talking. Heather, this is so exciting, a pep rally. I made extra pom-poms. Here, have one. We'll look great during the wave. I bet the freshman class has the most spirit, don't you? I've always wanted to go to a pep rally. Can you imagine what it must be like to be on the football team and have the whole school supporting you? This is so powerful. Do you think they'll win tonight? They will. I just know they will. It's been a hard season so far, but we'll get them going, won't we, Mel? Her enthusiasm makes me itch, but sarcasm would go right over her head. It won't kill me to go to the rally. I have someone to sit with. That counts as a step up on the ladder of social acceptability. How bad could a rally be? I want to stand by the doors, but Heather drags me up into the freshman section of the bleachers. I know these guys, she says. They work with me on the newspaper. The newspaper? We have a newspaper? She introduces me to a bunch of pale, zitty faces. I vaguely recognize a couple. The rest must have gone to the other middle school. I curve up the corners of my mouth without biting my lips. A small step. Heather beams and hands me a pom-pom. I relax an eensy bit. The girl behind me taps me on the shoulder with her long black nails. She had heard Heather introduce me. Sordino, she asks. You're Melinda Sordino. I turn around. She blows a black bubble and sucks it back into her mouth. I nod. Heather waves to a sophomore. She knows across the gym. The girl pokes me harder. Aren't you the one that called the cops at Kyle Rogers' party at the end of the summer? A block of ice freezes our section of the bleachers. Heads snap in my direction with the sound of 100 paparazzi cameras. I can't feel my fingers. I shake my head. Another girl chimes in. My brother got arrested at that party. He got fired because of the arrest. I can't believe you did that, asshole. You don't understand, my head voice answers. Too bad you can't hear it. She can't hear it. My throat squeezes shut as if 2 hands of black fingernails are clamped on my windpipe. I have worked so hard to forget every second of that stupid party, and here I am in the middle of a hostile crowd that hates me for what I had to do. I can't tell them what really happened. I can't even look at that part of myself. An animal noise rustles in my stomach. Heather moves to pat my pom-poms, but pulls her hand back. For a minute, she looks like she'll defend me. No, she won't. It might interfere with her plan. I close my eyes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't say anything. Breathe. The cheerleaders cartwheel into the gym and bellow. The crowd stomps the bleachers and roars back. I put my head in my hands and scream to let out the animal noise and some of that night. No one hears. They are all quite spirited. The band staggers through a song and the cheerleaders bounce. The Blue Devil mascot earns a standing ovation by backflipping right into the principal. Principal smiles and aw shucks us. It has only been 6 weeks since the beginning of school. He still has a sense of humor. Finally, our own devils hulk into the gym. The same boys who got detention in elementary school for beating the crap out of people are now rewarded for it. They call it football. The coach introduces the team. I can't tell them apart. Coach Disaster holds the microphone too close to his lips, so all we hear is the sound of his spitting and breathing. The girl behind me jams her knees into my back. They are as sharp as her fingernails. I inch forward in my seat and stare intently at the team. The girl with the arrested brother leans forward. As Heather shakes her pom-poms, the girl yanks my hair. I almost climb up the back of the kid in front of me. He turns and gives me a dirty look. The coach finally hands the wet microphone back to the principal, who introduces us to our very own cheerleaders. They slide into synchronized splits and the crowd goes nuts. Our cheerleaders are much better at scoring than the football team is. Cheerleaders. There are 12 of them. Jenny, Jen, Jenna, Ashley, Aubrey, Amber, Colleen, Caitlin, Marcy, Donner, Blitzen, and Raven. Raven is the captain, blondest of the blondes. My parents didn't raise me to be religious. The closest we came to worship is the trinity of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. I think the Merriweather cheerleaders confuse me because I missed out on Sunday school. It has to be a miracle. There is no other explanation. How else could they sleep with the football team on Saturday night and be reincarnated as virginal goddesses on Monday? It's as if they operate in two realities simultaneously. In one universe, they are gorgeous, straight-teethed, long-legged, wrapped in designer fashions, and given sports cars on their 16th birthdays. Teachers smile at them and grade them on the curve. They know the first names of the staff. They are the pride of the Trojans. The pride of the Blue Devils. In universe number 2, they throw parties wild enough to attract college students. They worship the stink out of Eau de Jacques. They rent beach houses in Cancun during spring break and get group rate abortions before prom. But they are so cute, and they cheer on our boys, inciting them to violence and, we hope, victory. These are our role models, the girls who have it all. I bet none of them ever stutter or screw up or feel like their brains are dissolving into marshmallow fluff. They all have beautiful lips, carefully outlined in red and polished to a shine. When the pep rally ends, I'm accidentally knocked down 3 rows of bleachers. If I ever form my own clan, we'll be the anti-cheerleaders. We will not sit in the bleachers. We will wander underneath them and commit mild acts of mayhem. The opposite of inspiration is expiration. For a solid week, ever since the pep rally, I've been painting watercolors of trees that have been hit by lightning. I try to paint them so that they are nearly dead, but not totally. Mr. Freeman doesn't say a word to me about them. He just raises his eyebrows. One picture is so dark you can barely see the tree at all. We are all floundering. Ivy pulled clowns as her assignment. She tells Mr. Freeman she hates clowns. A clown scared her when she was a little girl, and it put her into therapy. Mr. Freeman says fear is a great place to begin art. Another girl whines that brain is just too gross of a subject for her. She wants kittens or rainbows. Mr. Freeman throws his hands in the air. Enough! Please turn your attention to the bookshelves. We dutifully turn and stare. Books. This is art class. Why do we need books? If you are stumped, you may take some time to study the masters. He pulls out an armful. Kahlo, Monet, O'Keeffe, Pollock, Picasso, Dali. They did not complain about subject. They mined every subject for the root of its meaning. Of course, they didn't have a school board forcing them to paint with both hands tied behind their backs. They had patrons who understood the need to pay for basic things such as paper and paint. We groan. He's off on the school board thing again. The school board has cut his supply budget, telling him to make do with the stuff left over from last year. No new paint, no extra paper. He'll rant for the rest of the period, 43 minutes. The room is warm, filled with sun and paint fumes. 3 kids fall dead asleep, eye twitches, snores, and everything. I stay awake. I take out a page of notebook paper and a pen and doodle a tree. My second grade version. Hopeless. I crumple it into a ball and take out another sheet. How hard can it be to put a tree on a piece of paper? 2 vertical lines for the trunk. Maybe some thick branches, a bunch of thinner branches, and plenty of leaves to hide the mistakes. I draw a horizontal line for the ground and a daisy popping up next to the tree. Somehow I don't think Mr. Freeman is going to find much emotion in it. I don't find any. He started out as such a cool teacher. Is he going to make us thrash around with this ridiculous assignment without helping us? Acting. We get a day off for Columbus Day. I go to Heather's house. I wanted to sleep in, but Heather really wanted me to come over. There's nothing on television anyway. Heather's mom acts very excited to see me. She makes me mugs of hot chocolate to take upstairs and tries to convince Heather to invite a whole group for a sleepover. Maybe Melly could bring some of her friends. I don't mention the possibility that Rachel would slit my throat on her new carpet. I show my teeth like a good girl. Her mother pats my cheek. I am getting better at smiling when people expect it. Heather's room is finished and ready for viewing. It does not look like a 5th grader's or a 9th grader's. It looks like a commercial for vacuum cleaners. All fresh paint and vacuum cleaner lines in the carpet. The lilac walls have a few artsy prints on them. Her bookcase has glass doors. She has a television and a phone, and her homework is neatly laid out on her desk. Her closet is open just a tad. I open it farther with my foot. All her clothes wait patiently on hangers, organized by type, skirts together, pants hanging by their cuffs, her sweaters stacked in plastic bags on shelves. The room screams Heather. Why can't I figure out how to do that? Not that I want my room screaming Heather, that would be too creepy, but a little whisper of Melinda would be nice. I sit on the floor, flipping through her CDs. Heather paints her nails on her desk blotter and blathers. She is determined to sign up for the musical. The musical Wingers are a hard clan to break into. Heather doesn't have a talent or connections. I tell her she is wasting her time to even think of it. She thinks we should try out together. I think she has been breathing too much hairspray. My job is to nod or shake my head to say, I know what you mean, when I don't, and that it is so unfair, when it isn't. The musical would be easy for me. I'm a good actor. I have a whole range of smiles. I use the shy, look up through the bang smile for staff members and the crinkly eye smile with a quick shake of my head if a teacher asks me for an answer. If my parents want to know how school went, I flash my eyebrows upward and shrug my shoulders. When people point at me or whisper as I walk past, I wave to imaginary friends down the hall and hurry to meet them. If I drop out of high school, I could be a mime. Heather asks why I don't think they would let us in the musical. I sip my hot chocolate. It burns the roof of my mouth. Me. We are nobody. Heather, how can you say that? Why does everybody have that attitude? I don't understand any of this. If we want to be in the musical, then they should let us. We could just stand on stage or something if they don't like our singing. It's not fair. I hate high school. She pushes her books to the floor and knocks the green nail polish on the sand-colored carpet. Why is it so hard to make friends here? Is there something in the water? In my old school, I could have gone out for the musical and worked on the newspaper and chaired the car wash. Here, people don't even know I exist. I get squished in the hall and I don't belong anywhere and nobody cares. And you're no help. You are so negative and you never try anything and you just mope around like you don't care that people talk about you behind your back. She flops on her bed and bursts into big sobs, big boo-hoos with the little squeals of frustration when she punches her teddy bear. I don't know what to do. I try to soak up the nail polish, but I make the stain bigger. It looks like algae. Heather wipes her nose on the bear's plaid scarf. I slip out to the bathroom and come back with another box of tissues and a bottle of nail polish remover. Heather. I'm so sorry, Millie. I can't believe I said those things to you. It's PMS. Don't pay any attention to me. You have been so sweet to me. You are the only person I can trust. She blows her nose loudly and wipes her eyes on her sleeve. Look at you. You're just like my mom, she says. No use crying. Just get on with your life. I know what we'll do. First, we'll work our way into a good group. We'll make them like us. By next year, the music wingers will be begging us to be in the musical. It is the most hopeless idea I've ever heard, but I nod and pour the remover on the carpet. It lightens the polish to a bright vomit green and bleaches the carpet surrounding it. When Heather sees what I've done, she bursts into tears again, sobbing that it isn't my fault. My stomach is killing me. Her room isn't big enough for this much emotion. I leave without saying goodbye.